How did Mike even like discover you? Because this was when Mike was also trying to get his start as a coach. Of course, he had an exceptional career as a player, but like, how did he discover you, and how did that bond become so close during that time there in Ohio State, where both of you obviously have remained so close?
Yeah, I think that he respected the GAs and the student assistants. There was a group of us. Shane Bowen, he's now the
Giants.
defensive coordinator for the Giants. He was one of our GAs. Ron Miles, he's no longer in the profession, but he worked for the Patriots and the scouting department for a couple of years. He was the student assistant. And I think he just respected that the passion that we had for it and the sacrifice that we made to try and get into this thing. And so he tried to help us out as much as he could. He paid for lunches. He would lend his house when they were out of town for us to bring friends over. He was just, uh, I worked for Everett Withers, and I owe a lot of my career and the future that I've had in this business to Everett Withers. The 2 years that I was with Urban Meyer, Everett Withers was the co-DC and the secondary coach, and that's who I directly worked for, was the secondary. So I didn't work alongside Vrabel the whole time, but when we were in staff meetings, and then, like I said, on Tuesday nights, and then in the off season, stuff like that, I would babysit Carter and Tyler. They weren't necessarily babies, but we would hang out and give Mike and Jen a break. And I think we just got close through family, and he learned to trust me because he could trust me with his kids, and there's nothing like family. So I think that was probably it.
When it comes to just the football side of things, one of the things that all the coaches and Mike respected a lot was the instant recall you would have inside the booth. How did, I guess, you build that memory muscle? Was it reps? Was it just writing? Like, that's the one thing that I've heard a lot about you when it comes to this stuff. You are the best at. Like, where did that come from?
I would not say I have instant recall. I would say that Mike Vrabel does. I would say Sean McVay does. They can, if you either bring up a play on film or bring it up in just conversation, they can tell you the play call. They can tell you who was in, who made the catch, how many receiving yards they had that day. Those two guys are like football geniuses. I am not that. I just watch a ton of film. I watch every game every week, and I try to catalog in my brain, all right, this situation happened here. And so then I can pull things from my catalog in my mind of, all right, this was that penalty enforcement, or this was that specific situation in replay that happened, a couple years ago, and this is how the league handled that. So it's more just past experience, either from myself or past experiences from watching film around the league.
After all that happens, Mike gets his big opportunity to become a head coach in Tennessee. And you guys stayed in touch throughout all of this, but he becomes the head coach there. And during this time, he decides to give you a call. Like, one of the first calls he makes. Was that an easy jump for you to now say, okay, I'm going to the big leagues, going to the NFL? And how did that all happen?
Yeah, so I can vividly remember him calling me. I was in my office at Texas State, and he said, "Hey, I'm interviewing." I think it was for the Lions job at the time that Matt Patricia ended up getting. But he said, "Hey, I'm interviewing for what as." He didn't tell me what I would do. He didn't tell me what I'd be paid. None of that. And I was like, "Well, I've got to talk to my wife and have to talk to Coach Withers." But yes, I'm all in. That sounds amazing. And a couple of weeks went by. I think he had 2 or 3 interviews, didn't get any of them, and it was kind of like, okay, this is maybe next year. And then Tennessee, they had won a playoff game and then lost the next week. I think it might have been to the Patriots, and let go of Malarkey. And Braves called me and said, "Hey, I think this one's real. I'll keep you informed." And the next day or two, he called me. He was actually on a recruiting official visit for his older son Tyler at Boston College when he got the call that he would be the head coach in Tennessee. He called me at This was, I think it was on like a Sunday, and said, "Hey, I need you in Mobile on Tuesday, and you won't be going back. So pack your bags." And again, no idea what I'm doing, no idea what I'm getting paid, no idea what my title is. Just, hey, come help me. And it was kind of a learn on the run there.
Now, when all of this happens, I mean, the official title they give you is special assistant to the head coach, but I would imagine there was way more to that. What did your job entail upon arriving with Mike, taking over as a head coach in Tennessee, now getting the big job, and he's obviously making a lot of very big decisions?
So I was his like personal assistant. Anything that calendar wise, anything that he needed done went through me. I was the chief of staff, so anything that the coaching staff needed, anything organizationally, calendar wise, practices, that all went through me. And then I was also his guy up in the booth starting year one. I was kind of learning on the fly in terms of game management, in terms of rules, in terms of replay. And that first year, we were 0 for 5 on challenges. We I think we did some good things, but we learned a lot along the way. And those next 5 years in Tennessee, we had the best challenge percentage in the league. I think, played great situational football. In close games, we were very confident that we could provide our team with an edge and an advantage. And I just think that we played smart football, sound football, and took advantage of other people's mistakes, which I'm proud of.
All right, so you're there for a year in LA. Now Mike is back in the coaching circuit, one of the hottest candidates there is, and pretty cool story. He ends up where he had most of his success as a player in New England, and one of his first hires again is you coming in to be the VP of football operations and strategy. What is the role now, day to day, working with Mike? And Mike has now been through all this. When he took it over in Tennessee, that was the first time. Now he's seen it all. He went to Cleveland also for a year to go see it from a different perspective. What is the role now, day to day? From my understanding, you guys have offices right next to each other.
Yeah, it was great. I think it was a blessing in disguise that he didn't jump right into another head coaching job. It gave him a opportunity to take a deep breath. It gave him, myself, a ton of these coaches that we're back together with to experience something else. Whether it was Terrell getting to be with Dan Campbell and Aaron Glenn in Detroit, learn that system, learn what they do there, or Vrabes in Cleveland, myself with the Rams. So that in itself is a blessing. We've taken things from all those stops and tried to incorporate it. I would say that what I'm doing here is similar to the end of my time in Tennessee. Just a lot more high level conversations. Um, I think that some of the people that I talk to on a weekly basis, I wouldn't have talked to in Tennessee. Whether I never talked to the owner in Tennessee. I talk to the Crafts all the time here. Great people who are very supportive. They've involved me heavily in the new facility that we're building that'll be coming on in April of next year, that we're extremely excited about. I think that'll be a first class facility that will allow a lot more. It's just, the space is perfect in terms of the player movement from the meeting room to walk through areas, the weight room, the locker room. It's all right there, and very convenient. And it's going to be a great spot, but just a lot more high level conversations. Um, Braves, Elliott, Ryan Cowden, they've involved me in personnel conversations, and I think it's been great. I feel like my value here is, again, being a listener, being a level headed person that will always tell you the truth, whether it's hard for someone to take or hear. And people know that they can tell me the truth, and I'll be able to handle it.